How do you explain that, Darren? I mean, he's got a set in hand. He's, you know, he's played well this summer since Wimbledon, very well, Sam Querrey, but
there's one round he hasn't played well in, the
yeah.
finals.
Yeah.
It's a big mental burden. And his serve has totally crumbled the last couple of points.
Still, he has a game point at 1-2 second set.
Learning to embrace pressure and learning to perform and to not feel the tension. It's the hardest thing you can do as a tennis player.
Still, he holds. Rafa Nadal has been in 6 finals, so has Novak Djokovic, Andy Murray 5, Roger Federer 4, 2 of those Grand Slams. 3 of those Grand Slams. Sam Querrey at 4 now. Pretty good company here. Most finals this year on tour.
You know, a little distraction for Sam on his forehand side of the court, right? You guys may not be able to see, but there's somebody being tended to, perhaps from the heat, but there's some emergency medical people there, and there's a stretcher wheelchair being rolled out. It's a little bit distracting if you're down at Sam's end right now.
Carsten's favourite serve is that high-kicking serve, especially out to the forehand side on the juice court. And Sam has actually done a pretty good job in moving tight to the baseline to stop that kick getting away from him. A lot of aces, though, from Carsten. That's number 9.
Interesting mental battle coming up here. We're on serve in the second set still.
Tennis fans, is it Bill Shatner or William Shatner?
William, can I call you Pamela?
Yeah, you can call me Pamela. I prefer Pam. But you love tennis. What do you love about your front row seat, and what do you look for in these players in a final?
I'm seeing how often I judge the ball to be out when it's in and in when it's out. That's really bad. The eyes are gone.
Well, you've covered them up today, so that's okay. When you get on stage or when you're about ready to go for a live show, can you imagine it's a little similar from the nerves when they're out here playing a match, national television?
In the sense that everybody's eyes are on you. You make a mistake, everybody's dummy. I get that a lot.
But you get to take 2 a little more than these guys? Not for live TV.
We got more. There are more people involved in the scene than one-on-one. It's scary playing a tennis match and looking like an idiot. If you do look like an idiot, but the gains are so much more. Imagine when you win.
Yeah,
you know what that's like.
Barely remember it still. Last thing, you're such a tennis fan. When I came up, sat beside you, you said, "Who won up north in Stanford?" You follow men's, women's, everything.
Yeah, I love to watch the men play, and then I love to watch the women play.
Ah, I think I know why. Cliffy, back to you. You know why.
Captain Kirk, Boston Legal. Darren Cahill says that is the best show ever, and I agree.
Boston, I couldn't believe it got cancelled.
Speaking of Stanford and his interest in the result up there, it was a huge surprise. I'm sure he was surprised as anybody, as Bartoli came out, won the first set easily, and then had a big lead in the second set, let that slip. Venus Williams won. They did finally 7-5, and then Bartoli came back in the third, although she looked so tired at the end of the second. Found a way.
Yeah, maybe Sam Querrey now is going to open up the shoulders and relax. We saw it for the first few games here in the second set when he won that opening set. Little nervous period in the last couple of games,
Killer,
but
you
that's
have been
the most
looking
solid.
for the demise of the Australian guy all set long, and you're still on that kick.
No, not really. I'm just looking for Sam to get rid of those finals nerves. that we've seen from him in the last few weeks. And you look for positives, you look for the ways that he deals with a bit of pressure, and we saw early in the first set that he got really angry with himself when he handed back the break. You know, this is a learning process for both of these players.
Both of them.
Exactly.
3-all.
15-9.
You can track your favorite players in the Olympus US Open Series throughout the summer, everybody. They're competing for $1 million bonus at the Open. You can also get a lot of other stuff there, scores, player standings, etc. So track it. usopenseries.com.
Serve just jumped off the court. That was like a super ball.
Yeah, I'm looking for Cliff to break that, to Exmo that serve, because I love it. John Fitzgerald thinks it's very reminiscent to Neil Fraser's left-handed serve from the 1960s. And it's off the same ball toss that he can hit all four corners of the court. You can't see the kick serve coming. It's very difficult to read.
Well, and this tournament's been around such a long time that Neil Fraser would have passed through town a lot. Look where Sam Querrey's standing now. He's standing back with the bushes.
Strong game, and ball holds. So Querrey will serve on serve, trailing 3-4 second set after winning the first. The good first rounds at the leg. Mason starting our coverage starting Friday of next week there, Baron.
Well, Leighton Hewitt takes on Donald Young, who got a wild card into the event. That's probably the highlight of the first rounds because all the seeded players have buys. And there's 16 of those. Strong tournament, though.
Love 15.
Andy Roddick is the top seed there. Del Potro, who won it last year, won here as well, is the number 2 seed. Good, solid fielder, as you can see. Thomas Berdych, number 8.
Also, the women's event in Carson, very strong as well.
15-all.
The best 2 first rounds there is Yamila Groth up against Maria Sharapova. The winner of that match will play Victoria Azarenka.
That's going to be
and
interesting.
Sabine Lisicki up against Daniela Hanchikova. And the winner of that will take on Dinara Safina.
That's from Carsten, and that also starts Friday.
15-30.
Seeded players from next week's tournament in Carson. Very strong event.
Gee,
I know Ivanovic is down to number 6.
it's just dominated by all those seeds, top 8 seeds, all from Europe. Querrey is having another nightmare service game. 2 double faults. That last point was dreadful, and now he faces a couple of break points. This is Karsten's ball's window to get it into the third set.
He's not trying to hit that ball with any kind of juice. He's just
103.
trying to get it in.
Yeah, that's the way to play from Carsten Ball. That second serve is dropping so short from Querrey. No hesitation from Carsten. Really positive tennis from the Australian.
On the other hand, just watch this Carsten ball serve because we've been talking about it. This is a left-hander serve with the full swing. You can see how the racket goes way down before he starts it up. That said, this is not a high ball toss. Freeze it there for me, guys. Look at that ball just before he's coming into the... His feet are off the ground. He's rotated into the ball. Now make him make contact with it and go through. This is a very compact and good motion. He's used it extremely well today. There's not much that can go wrong with that swing. A very good ball toss, good rhythm on that motion.
And if the winner of this match is the better server right now, it's Carsten Ball is going to win the match. I mean, Sam Querrey's serve has fallen apart.
And I call Carsten Ball an Australian. Of course, he plays Davis Cup for Australia, but he's very much a Californian boy.
How do you tell the difference between an Australian and a Californian walking down the street, Darren?
I'm sure it's up to you.
How do you? I don't know. You're saying he's Californian.
Well, he's lived all his life in California.
They have to open their mouth to really tell the difference.
3 set points for Carsten Ball.
Wow, okay, it's going to be a third set to decide the championship here. They're both beach babies.